So maybe to start, a very quick word about the new European Bauhaus initiative. So I had the opportunity to join the high-level roundtable, which was tasked with the idea of submit some concepts, ideas, and proposition for the new European Bauhaus directly to the president Ursula von der Leyen. So it was yeah, a lot of pressure, I would like to say, but I had the opportunity also to meet her 3 times, and also to hear some word directly from her mouth about the initiative, and it was also very inspiring. So I would like maybe to talk about that very quickly to start. I remember that she told us that this initiative is actually the right project, the right initiative at the right time. And this was like also before the event we are experiencing in Europe right now with the Ukraine situation. And she was saying also that this is the opportunity to give hope, and perspective beyond the pandemic also. And I think that this purpose, this goal has not changed. I mean, the climate issues we are facing and we have to tackle is still there. And it's piling up with other problems we have right now also. But we still have that problem to work with. So the idea of this initiative also is to channel different energies, different proposition, and to give like an orientation that is just like she said, needed in these dire times. So I would like maybe to talk a little bit about those 3 principles that we have around the New European Bauhaus initiative, maybe just like I see them, and also present you what I'm doing at Lille Métropole, which is where I'm working currently, and also maybe illustrate that with some projects. So let me share you my screen right now. So you're probably seeing my screen, sorry. So yeah, we have those 3 principles on the new European Bauhaus that are very interesting and also very thrilling, I would like to say. There is that notion of inclusion also, which is very interesting, and we had like a lot of discussion with the high-level roundtable about those words and the meaning of this word. And I think that the idea that came up is that nobody should be left behind in this initiative. So we could be tempted to only talk with designers, architects, and people who are very close to the Commission or very close to public policies, for instance. But the idea of inclusion right now is probably also to reach out to other publics, to reach out to other people. Like I would like to say, like ordinary people from the everyday life who are actually very far from the European Bauhaus, and find a way to include them. But the idea also of inclusion is not only to include people, but also to, how to say that, to make them legit around the table. And somehow, when you've already said that, yeah, it's about including people, you can also think the other way around, and maybe think that it's not the other you're going to bring to your table, but maybe your role is to get to the others, you know, and to get closer to them. So this is probably the way we can see inclusion. Of course, it's all about diversity. It's all about people who have so-called disabilities, for instance, also. But mostly it's about including people who are concerned by a subject, a topic in the project, and build the project with them, for them. The other aspect is the aesthetic and the beauty, which is also a very abstract concept. And we eventually came up with the fact that it's about, let's say, emotion somehow. It's about what people will feel, what people will experience with a building, with a place, with a product, with a service. Is it something positive? Is it something not positive? And this is probably the question you have to think about when you are working on a project. And the aesthetic, the beauty is something that emerged from what you are proposing to people and to users, basically. I also like to say that for me, working in public policies, there is that very stupid thing I'd like to say sometimes, but I think that public policies, for instance, should bring joy into people's life. It sounds very naive. It sounds very, yeah, just like I said earlier, a bit stupid, but this is actually what it's supposed to do. I mean, when you're interacting with a public policies, a public service, it's not supposed to be a struggle. It's not supposed to be something difficult. It's supposed to be something that is easing your life, solving a problem for you, and not adding problem to what you're already facing. So this is probably the definition I would give you about the aesthetic and the beauty. And the last aspect would be the sustainability, that you can also read and understand in many different ways, but you can also think about circularity, the impact on the environment, and also the process you're using around the project. So when I'm working on a subject, when I'm working on a project, my question is, okay, what is the impact? What does it triggers? What does it do to the environment, to the surroundings and stuff like that? And around those three words, I would not say that there is like a very strict definition. I think that this is probably something moving, something evolving. But I think that the most important thing to keep in mind is that we have to question ourselves on every project, especially regarding the process, because it's not only about the result and the outcome, it's also a lot about how we do things, how we do include the sustainability issues, questions, how we do think about the inclusion during the process itself, and how also we think about these aesthetic aspects inside the project. So I would say that we should not restrain ourselves by focusing on only the result, but probably empower ourselves by thinking and questioning the process and wondering about many things during the project itself. Now, I would like to present you very quickly what we do at Lille Métropole. Lille Métropole is basically a gathering of 95 cities and towns, and sometimes villages as well, who decided decades ago to come together, to mutualize different competencies and responsibilities. It could be waste management, it could be water and water management and supply, it could be tourism aspects, it could also be housing and stuff like that. So it's easier to do those things together than rather than separately. We have big cities with thousands of people, but we also have like very small villages with like, I don't know, 900 people. So for those types of entity, it's very hard to handle some projects. So it's definitely a better thing to work together. So that male design lab was born like 2 years ago, basically, just before the pandemic, I would like to say, the outbreak of the pandemic in Europe, so early 2020. And basically, it's like an internal support system, I would like to say, for the projects that are carried out by the male teams. And we like to present it as a laboratory or something like a workshop, a place where we do experiment, try, sometimes hesitate to, but the idea is to improve the way we produce and we design public policies, and also to improve the thing that the outcomes and the output of those design policies. So we have to work about the practices and the way people are doing the projects. Basically, it's a dedicated space first, a team, and also a service offer. So we have like that space at our headquarters, which is like 140 meters square, and which is dedicated to different activities. and it helps us to it allows us to gather citizens, project teams around around projects and around workshop stations, to experiment, to talk, to design and to build together. So this is a very important place for us, because it's also an embodiment of what we're doing and of our entity. It's also a service offer for internal teams. Basically, we have like two different competencies, which are on one side collective intelligence, and on the other side design process. And I was talking about questioning ourselves earlier, and those two competencies, they are here for us to answer two questions. The first one is how we can collaborate better inside the organization. We have different directions, different departments with different cultures, different way of doing things. And we have bigger and bigger projects that are involving a lot of people. And the collective intelligence help us to make those people work better together, including citizens and people who are going to use our services, equipments, places, and other stuff. The design process is here to help us to manage project in a better way, in a new way, and especially to experiment first, and also to include the aspects of uses and experience. I mean, every time someone comes in contact with a public service, space, product, whatever it is, that person's gonna leave something. It could be positive, just like I was saying earlier. It could be a disaster, it could be a struggle. So there is always an experience. And the question is, do you want to leave that to chance, or do you want to seize the opportunity to work about it and to make it something consistent, meaningful, and desirable? So this is what the design process is about for us at Lille Métropole. So we combine those two expertise to produce a very simple service offer, which is about support for project management, and also support for project animation, basically. For the project management axis, we basically have like 4 points. The first one is to help the teams to translate a political demand. We have like representatives at our organization, and they're gonna ask for something they promise to the citizen. For instance, we are right now working on a square in Lille, and we were asked to get rid of the parking lot and station that are actually on the square, and to replace it with plants and to vegetalize the place. So this is the political demand, but it's very precise, and at the same time it's very abstract. So our role and purpose with this first point is to help the team to go from a very abstract political demand to a project, a very concrete project that will be implemented on the place and visible from the citizen. The other one is to help the teams to move from a planning, from a big strategy, to very concrete and operational action. So we have like a lot of plans, urban planification. We have like great also plans about transportation, which is also a competence of the Métropole. But the question is, when you already said that, how do you move and push forward to the project? And this is also how we help the teams. Basically, the idea is to be able to identify a very concrete playground where we can implement something, and to give a perimeter for the project, and to be able to achieve very concrete actions, even if they are just a tiny part of the whole strategy. The third one is to be able to diagnose uses, and to create experiences and to design them. This requires a very specific expertise, which is probably most of the time in the end of designers, to be able to understand how people use a service, how they live it, what they are expecting from it, what they can also need, and the need and expectation are two different things, and how you can work with that and work with that matter to feed and nourish the project, and how you can also at the end provide a very consistent, meaningful, and intelligent experience. And the last one is to help the team to explore and to dig into new technologies, new social comportments too, and behaviors too. And these are very helpful because they help also the team to, how can I say, to find the right angle around the technology. Let's say that we want to work with a facial recognition, for instance. We don't know what we can exactly do with that. So we are maybe interested in that technology, but we don't know exactly what we can do with that. So the idea will be to tell a story around that technology, and around a very specific use case. Could be the access to I don't know, to the wasteland of the metropole, for instance, where you're supposed to drop your big waste and stuff. And we can tell a story about this technology and the service, and also the idea is also to raise some questions, to raise some concerns, and to be able to trigger a debate, a discussion around that technology, and to be able to see what we can do with that and what we don't want to do with it also. Regarding the facilitation axis, we have like, let's say 5 types of workshop that we can organize for the team inside the metropole. Could be creativity workshop, could be a solution research workshop, or just review a project, review a strategy, and see what we can project and what could be the next actions. Basically, the idea is, just like I said earlier, the fact that we have like different teams working on different fields, and that are more and more asked to work together with different practices, different culture. We can have, like, for instance, a tourism department, and on the other side, a road management department, and they have like different cultures, because tourism is about cultural aspects and stuff, while road management is very technical. So how do you bring people with such differences to work together? And this is what we solve with different type of workshop. What we are implementing right now is how to launch that type of transversal project. And this is very critical, because this is at the beginning of the project, that you can make sure that people are all on the same page about the objective and the goal of the project, all on the same page about the tools they can use, the vocabulary they can use also. And this is where you can forge and bring together the team and create a really sense of belonging together around the project. And this is very critical for the success of a project. So this is basically what we are doing at Lille Métropole inside the MEL Design Lab. And just one very quick thing about the funding of those approach, because it needs money, of course. What we're saying to all the teams is that basically, when you have a project, you should think about just dedicating 5% of that project budget to a design phase, where you're gonna think about what we are about to do, what we are about to design. And it also helps us to found like the cooperation of external design teams too, that can help us also on the project. So this is a way we also that we also convince the teams inside the organization to to integrate also those aspects of design and to rely on external resources when needed. Now I would like maybe to talk very quickly about one project. For instance, we had that we have that let's say a channeled river on l'île Métropole, which is called La Deule. And we had that project about how to light the banks of that channeled river, because no, today the problem we have is that there are like lights all around the channel, and the problem we have is that those lights they are disturbing the biodiversity, the fishes, the bats, the insects. Basically, the bats are seeing all the lights are as natural barrier or frontier, so they are not crossing spaces they used to be crossing. And all the insects, they will gather around the lights and die there, while fish are also very frightened. And it causes like a lot of problems around this channel. So basically, this is two pictures of the same place during the day and during the night. So what you can see is that yes, it's a lot of light, because probably the ancient or former doctrine was, yeah, okay, people should see just like in the day during the night. So you just need to put as much light as you can. Now we are reconsidering the certitude to move toward other way of lighting those banks. So the question was how to bring people, citizens, different cities around that problem, and how to have them understand the problem and also discuss and find solution together. So other pictures. The idea was to produce this model that will help people to understand what exactly the problem is about the light, about the biodiversity, and to start a discussion with them. So the people we can gather around the project are, yes, basically citizens, different cities that are linked to the channeled river, and technical services and the cities and the city halls, basically. So this is what it looked like at the end, and it seems very basic, but what is very interesting is that you can see with a very small model where the light is going exactly. So it's on the banks and also on the water that you can see on the gray area on the bottom of the screen. And the idea was also to start building solutions and to show solutions to people and to have them talk about the solutions. So this model actually really helped to gather those technical public with citizen and to have them talk together and understand together the problem and to converge and to work together. So we let them actually come up with solution that were after that we worked by design teams and then resubmit to the group of projects. But the aim of this project was to find a way to create a discussion and to create a common understanding of a problem around I mean in the metropole. So yeah, and so this is the type of project we are working on. We have like project also about water, how to help household to reduce their use of water, for instance. We have like other project also about how to help students to have a better alimentation. So basically, we are working for different publics. And in every project, we are trying to involve the final and the end user to make sure that we are building solutions around their need and that we are also able to test with them solutions and to see if it's really working. So just like I was saying earlier, it's not only about the process, but it's more about the process and the way we are driving projects more than we thought it was in the first place. So this is the way we are working, and more and more we are trying to align our projects with that philosophy of New European Bauhaus. Maybe a last thing to say, it's not necessarily very tangible. I mean, this New European Bauhaus initiative, sometimes it's not very easy to grasp or to seize, but I think that basically the idea is that it's a movement in the making. So we had that problem in France where a lot of French people, very Frenchy, were waiting for a very clear line. And I think that somehow it's more about what we want to bring to this movement and the energy and the commitment we are bringing around the table than exactly what is expecting from us. So I think that, yeah, this is probably a unique opportunity to build something and to create a movement at the scale of Europe. And this is probably for us regular citizens something very new and something probably very thrilling. Voilà.